Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, with a lot of my eBay error stuff that I've been doing, my That's Not an Error series, I've gotten some flack about the difference between fact and opinion. All right. First and foremost, let's start off by saying this is my channel. Everything on my channel is my opinion. It's why I have a channel to give my opinion on stuff. I show you guys what it is, and I give you guys my opinion on each of the different items. However, my opinion is based on fact. So when I say that a note like this, 55544, that's a full house. When I say a note like this isn't worth anything, that is my opinion. But it's based in fact. And how do I explain that? Well, the standard way that a lot of people try to figure out if they have a fancy serial number is to go to a website called mycurrencycollection.com. It's not my website. That's a completely separate entity. So, if people are going to a separate website, what does that website say? Well, that website, when describing fancy serial numbers, specifically says that trinaries aren't worth more than face value. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It says, for the most part, trinaries aren't worth more than face value. And what that means is if you had a note that was 00000012, that's a trinary. But that's also a low number, an extremely low number, and that is worth something. It's not worth anything because it's a trinary. It happens to be a trinary, but it's worth something because it is an extremely low number. So that's why the site says, for the most part, trinaries are not worth more than face value. It also says, for the most part, quads aren't worth more than face value. Well, if you had a quad that was 11112222, yeah, that's quads, but that's also double quads, and that is worth more than face value. But once again, for the most part, quads are not worth more than face value, and trinaries are not more than face value. Now, this isn't me saying that. This is that website saying that. So it's not my opinion that trinaries and quads aren't worth anything. It is a fact that the website that people look up stuff on says that those aren't worth anything. Okay, so not my opinion. The website is stating it as fact. That's the difference between fact and opinion. Now, from that website also tells you how hard those particular notes are to find. It'll give exact percentages. So, if the percentage chance of finding quads is 0.43% and it's still not worth anything, then if you have a note that's more common than that, how would that possibly be worth something? That's where my opinion comes from. If you can say that quads aren't worth more than face value, then something that is more common than that, in my opinion, should also not be more than face value. It's common sense. It that is where opinion and fact differ. So I can say it is my opinion that those notes aren't worth anything, but there is a website stating a fact that this particular note is worthless, and all these other notes that you're talking about, they're even more common. So did they say they're not worth anything? No, but they certainly implied that particular fact. So when people come at me for saying, oh, that's just two people talking about their differences of opinion, no, it's not. I'm quoting facts based on the website that everybody is using. And I don't even like that website because that website tends to tell everybody that more things are worth stuff than they really are. So with that being the level playing field there, Uh, it's not me saying they're not worth anything. It's that website, and I am quoting that website. So, not my opinion. It's a fact. All right, this is what I've got this week. Let's take a look at what I found. And once again, I can't stress enough, I'm a collector. I'm not a dealer. The stuff that I find, I collect because I enjoy collecting it. I don't expect to make any money off of any of this stuff. I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy looking for pairs. I enjoy looking for two serial numbers that are exactly the same. I've found a couple of those, and that's why I save the stuff that I save. It's a hobby. It's a fun hobby. It's not a business. If you think you're going to go through a strap of singles and find 20 notes you can sell for $50 a piece, you're scamming people. All right, what did I find? First up, I've got a trinary, 2s, 6s, and 7s. And I know a lot of you would go nuts because there's a pair of 2s and a pair of 2s and a pair of 6s. No, it's a trinary, and it's in horrible shape. Probably going to go back in circulation if it doesn't match anything that I already have. Let's see, another trinary. This is 3s, 4s, and 6s. Once again, pair of 3s, pair of 6s, and then 3 more 3s. It's a full house with a pair. Is that worth something? No, it's not. It's trinary. 1s, 3s, and 4s. 3s, 4s, and 6s. It's too bad that 6 was there because it would have been a binary, and binaries actually have value. But still a trinary, and in good shape. I will keep it, trying to pair it up. 1s, 2s, and 7s. And then quads. Here's quad 0s. Quad 5s with a 5th. Still not worth anything. Quad 8s. And it's a trinary, 4s, 8s, and 9s. Some stars. 2017 A star note. Remember, check your stars to see if they're filled in, because that little bit of ink would be worth something. This little bit of ink is a wedding transfer and is not worth anything. It's not an error when the ink doesn't dry and transfers onto another note. So no, not an error. Just a star. 2017A. 2017A as well. Also, wedding transfer. See how common those are? 2017A, 2017A, 2017, and another, and another, and another, and another. Found a lot of stars this week. More 2017s. 2013. And another 2013, another 2013. All of these were Dallas. A B note with a star, but it's a 2009. That's cool seeing an older star note like that. Another 2009 B. 2006 B star note. So yeah, I found a bunch of stars this week. Then some older notes. 2003 A. I always collect notes that are 20 years or older, just because nobody else does. So I will save them. When I go through my box, I will pull out the ones that are just garbage, but this way I've got at least some notes from every series, because right now try to find notes from 1985. You can't. They're just not there. Notes from 1981, notes from 74, notes from 77. You just don't see them, and nobody bothered to save them. So if you're putting together a set, they're very difficult to come by. I'm not saying that they're worth more, maybe just a hair more, just because you literally can't find them. But, that's why I save the older notes. Here's a 2003, 2001, pretty rough shape. 2001, much better shape. 1999, 1999 as well. 1995, this is the first shot at a web note, and you can see here with all this stuff, it is not. And it's got a location here. Web notes don't have a location, and they only have a plate number on this side. 1995, not a web note. Another 95, another 95, another 95. And this is 1993, another series that you just do not see a lot of. Obviously it's 1993. I just showed you all the 95s. The 93 series wasn't out for very long at all. Another 93, so finding two of those in one search is pretty good. 1988A, that's an I note. I always enjoy seeing I notes just because I know there aren't a whole lot of those. And another note there's not a whole lot of would be the Kansas City notes, the J notes. And this one's from 1981. It's got a little bit of pencil on it, but that's all right. Still cool to see a 1981. All right, that's what I found. What did I bring out this week? This week, I got a cool item off the auction. This is you can see right here, series of 1928 $10 Federal Reserve note. The 1928 series is cool for a couple reasons. To start with, 1928 was the very first series that had small size notes. I say small size notes, but it's the size that we currently use today. Prior to this, notes were much bigger. They reduced the size of the note by a third to save 1/3 on paper costs and 1/3 on ink costs. So 1928 was the first year of this particular size. Now, the other things that are cool is with the 1928 is what it's got right here, the obligation. Redeemable in gold on demand at the United States Treasury or in gold coin or lawful money at any Federal Reserve Bank. Now, people will tell you that this is a gold certificate. It is not. People will tell you that it's special because it says it's redeemable in gold. All money in 1928 was redeemable in gold. We had gold coins, $20 gold coins, $10 gold coins, $5 gold coins. So yeah, if your bank had gold coins, you could take a $10 bill, any $10 bill, and get a $10 gold coin. You could take 20 silver certificates to the bank and get a $20 gold coin, which happened to be an ounce of gold at the time. So these are not gold certificates, but they do have the redeemable in gold obligation. Now, they only had this in 1928 because the next series was 1934, and it was in 1933 that they made the ownership of gold illegal, making gold certificates illegal as well. So that's why they changed the obligation. So 1928 is special not only for being the first year of the small size note, but also having the gold obligation. The other thing that makes this note cool is the 1928 series. This particular one you can see is from Cleveland. Cleveland is District 4. That's why there's the 4s on the side here. But with the serial number, you see the D. D is the 4th letter of the alphabet. Normally on Federal Reserve notes in this spot, you'll see a letter like I showed here. This one is Kansas City, J. J is the 10th letter of the alphabet. You can see how that corresponds, and in the serial number, it starts with J. This doesn't have the letter. It has the number. The only place you see the letter is in part of the serial number. So that's also cool with the 28 series. But ultimately, the coolest part of this note, it's a star. Not only is it a star, it's fairly low, 0.0020837. So if you just read this as a number, that's 20,000. Now, it's not worth anything because of how low the serial number is, because a low serial number, if that 2 was a 0, then you'd have a 3-digit, you'd have 837, then it would be worth something because of the serial number. This serial number does not increase the value. However, that star most certainly does. Let's take a look at what the book has to say about this. Before we do that, let me show the back here. Now, this note has circulation. It's got some dirt, quite a few folds, quite a few creases, probably grades in the 8 to 10 range, maybe 15. Probably 8 to 10. That's going to be my guess on this one, 8 to 10. But let's look at the book and see what the book has to say. All right, here's the book. And we can see right there on top, a series of 1928 signature of Tate and Mellon. And mine, of course, is Cleveland, so it is the bottom one. What is that? 2000 D star. And you can see that in a VF20, it grades at $350, or $350 is the value of that particular note. And a choice uncirculated, you're talking $2,500, compared to the $65 for a non-star note. So yeah, that's a pretty big deal there, having a star note from 1928. So this one, I don't collect stars especially, so it may end up in one of my auctions, but I saw it and I got it for a good price. so it may end up in a future auction. That's what I've got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.